Maura Murray was a 21-year-old nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst. On February 9, 2004, she vanished in rural New Hampshire after crashing her car. She ran track, did well in school, and spent a year at West Point before transferring to UMass Amherst to study nursing. By early 2004, Maura seemed to be under stress. She crashed into a snowbank. A local resident called the police. A passing bus driver named Butch Atwood stopped and asked if Maura needed help. Supporters of this idea point out that she lied about a family death and packed her car with clothes and alcohol. But her family strongly disagrees with this idea. They say Maura was close to her family and would not leave without saying goodbye. Also, her bank account was almost empty and her credit cards were never used again. No new identity or passport has ever turned up. She told him she had already called AA, but there was no cell service there and AA says they never got a call. People hoped this could be her, but testing showed the bones were over 80 years old. Some people think she might have been drunk, wandered off and froze to death. They checked an area based on a tip about a possible sighting of someone running on the night Maura vanished. Again, they found nothing connected to her. Her sister Julie Murray runs social media pages, does interviews, and created a podcast to share updates. Her father Fred Murray spent years searching the area and talking to local residents. When no Maura left campus with cash and alcohol, she crashed her car on a dark, snowy road. She talked to a witness. Police arrived within minutes, but she was gone. No confirmed sightings have come up in 20 years. No evidence has proven she ran away, died nearby, or was kidnapped, but her family believes she was taken. The family believes someone in that community may know what really happened. A partial fingerprint found on a CD case in Maura's car was tested again. They want anyone with real information to come forward. If Maura were alive today, she would be 41 years old. It matched a man named Stephen Baldwin, a former West Point cadet who once dated Maura. Baldwin is currently in prison for unrelated charges of fraud and animal cruelty. But so far, no one has found a clear answer to one of America's most frustrating missing person mysteries. He says he traded C-discs with Maura back at West Point, which could explain the fingerprint. So far, police have not charged him with anything related to Maura's disappearance, but he is now considered a person of interest. They think someone passing by might have offered her a ride and then harmed her. The crash site was on a rural road with very few houses. Some people say a suspicious vehicle may have been seen nearby, but nothing was ever proven. There is no clear evidence of a struggle at the crash scene, but there are problems with this idea too. Search teams covered the area multiple times with dogs, drones, and volunteers. They used cadaver dogs and ground-penetrating radar but found nothing. No trace of Maura's body or clothing has ever been found. If she had died nearby, something should have turned up by now. When the police arrived about 10 minutes later, Maura was gone. The car was locked. Her gloves, some cash, her credit cards, and the wine she just bought were still inside. There were no footprints leading away from the scene except for a trail that ended about 100 yards into the woods. Days before she vanished, she crashed her father's car after a night out. She was upset about it and seemed distracted at work. Some friends say she may have been dealing with personal issues. And today, 20 years later, no one knows exactly what happened to her. This video breaks down the real timeline, the facts, and what we know 20 years later. First, some background. Maura was born in 1982 in Massachusetts. She was smart and athletic. On Monday, February 9, 2004, Maura emailed her professors. She told them there was a death in her family and she would be away for a week. But there was no death in the family. She withdrew about $280 from her bank account. She bought some wine and other alcohol at a liquor store. Then she got in her old black Saturn and drove north toward the White Mountains of New Hampshire. Around 7:30 p.m. that evening, Maura lost control of her car on Route 112 near Haverhill, New Hampshire. Police and volunteers searched the area for days. They used helicopters and tracking dogs, but found nothing. No sign that Maura was injured or that someone had forced her to leave. No one has ever confirmed seeing her alive again. So, what happened? Over the years, 3 main theories have been discussed. The first theory is that Maura ran away on purpose. Some people believe she planned to disappear and start a new life. The second theory is that Maura died in the woods near the crash site. The third theory is that Maura was taken by someone. This is what her family believes. Over the years, police have followed many tips. In 2019, they searched the basement of a nearby house after rumors that Maura's body might be buried there. In 2021, human bones were found on Loon Mountain, about 25 miles from where Maura disappeared. In 2022, New Hampshire State Police and the Attorney General's office did another ground search along Route 112. Then in 2025, something new came up. Maura's family is still fighting to keep the case alive. Today, the FBI and the New Hampshire Cold Case Unit still list Maura Murray's case as active and suspicious. So what do we really know? If you want to learn more, there are books, podcasts, and a documentary series about this case. New tips still come in every year. What do you think happened to Maura Murray? Did she run away? Did she get lost? Did someone pick her up and harm her? If you found this video interesting, please like and subscribe for more real-life unsolved mysteries. Thanks for watching. Stay curious and take care.